In 1956, the Edwards Aquifer faced its reckoning. The story begins in winter dry, brittle, and already exhausted after 5 parched years. The once mighty artesian system beneath the hill country was bleeding pressure. San Antonio's famous index well, J17, entered January already low around 635 feet meso. The water surface sinking daily, the creek silent. By spring, the ground cracked under relentless sun. The rains of April never came, and the land's sponge its recharge zone lay bare. In May, J17 fell through 620 feet, crossing the invisible line that kept Comal Springs alive. On June 13th, the springs went silent for the first and only time in recorded history. The crystal river that had gushed from limestone. Caves for millennia dwindled to warm, stagnant pools. Fishermen left their lines dry. The town's namesake life source was gone. Downstream, San Marcos Springs still whispered, but faintly. Fed by deeper conduits, it trickled at barely 46 cubic feet per second by August, its weakest breath on record. Meanwhile, the well at J17 sank relentlessly, gravity reclaiming every foot of pressure once held aloft by centuries of rainfall. On August 17, 1956, it bottomed out at 612.5 feet MSL, the lowest level ever recorded. The aquifer was at its knees. Across the Edwards Plateau, windmills groaned dry, ranchers drilled deeper, and wells that had flowed freely for generations now wheezed air. The drought was so complete it seemed biblical. Newspapers called it the death of water. San Antonio's officials, long dismissive of regulation, began to reckon with the possibility of a city dying of thirst. Through September and October, J17 hovered near rock bottom 612, 613, sometimes creeping, up to 615 when a rare thunderstorm brushed the hill country. But the recharge never reached the limestone heart of the aquifer. The Comal River bed stayed bone white. Only when the first autumn fronts arrived did a faint recovery begin. Then, in early November, something shifted. A chain of small rains finally soaked through. On November 3rd, the long-dead Comal stirred. Trickles became rivulets. By evening, the water re-emerged from its limestone throat. Locals wept. It had been 144 days since surface flow ceased. The year limped to a close still fragile. By December, J17 had clawed back to roughly 620 feet meso, barely above the spring threshold. The aquifer's memory of abundance was gone. Every gallon had to be earned again, but nature has a way of balancing extremes. The very next spring, 1957, brought roaring floods that filled every sinkhole, cavern, and conduit. Within months, J17 leaped more than 50 feet. The Comal surged to life, and the Edwards breathed again. That brutal year left scars and lessons. It became the drought of record, the yardstick by which every dry spell since has been measured. The political shockwaves led to the creation of the Edwards Underground Water District in 1959, ancestor of today's Edwards Aquifer Authority, but no real action.
In hindsight, 1956 reads like a morality tale written in limestone. When the land stops drinking, the rivers stop singing. The Edwards was pushed to its limit, revealing both the fragility and resilience of the hidden sea beneath. Texas. Its story is a warning whispered through the rock. Never take pressure for granted. And that's true both hydrologically and metaphysically. Therefore, deliver and consider this word for yo mama. In all seriousness, groundwater should be left untouched and surface. Water should always be utilized first. Groundwater extraction is the dehydration of the earth. Never forget,